Well, it's the Portland Rose Festival time, and I'm with Rich Bear from the Rose Society, and we're going to talk to you about the perfect rose. So, Rich, you all sponsor, the Society sponsors the Spring Rose Show, and so you have, how many entries usually come every year?
I've averaged them over the last 20 years, and we usually get about 1,300 to 1,400 individual entries, sometimes higher, sometimes lower, depending upon the weather. And
so what are the judges looking for? This is a beautiful rose bush here. So what do you look for?
Basically, all the rules are set up to have what we think is a beautiful rose, the most beautiful rose win. And there's a lot of things that go into that. Mostly, if you look at a rose as a non-judge, you'd say, well, that's a beautiful flower, or you'd say, you know, if you looked at this one, you'd say,
it's not a beautiful one.
It's not so good, you know.
Right. You're looking at color, form?
We're looking at if the color is right for the variety of the rose. We're looking for the form, the way the rose is opening up. The center is an important feature. A lot of roses have they have a very, what we call a confused center. There'll be a lot of petals in the center that don't act as a spiral away from the center. And so it's, as a judge, it becomes very difficult because you could have 10 or 15 roses which are absolutely stunningly beautiful, and we can only pick one.
Oh, sure.
And we fight after the fact. We go, how did you guys pick that one, you know?
And then, do you have to bring foliage too?
Generally speaking, we would like to, and I'm going to cut this rose here,
okay,
and I'll hold it in my hand here. If you can, when you bring it to a show,
oh wow,
cut something that might be 14 to 18 inches tall. Now, there's a rule in this: you can always make it shorter, but you can't make it longer later. Okay, although there are ways to make a stem longer if you actually need to.
Well, that's a secret. We won't get into that.
So the foliage is also an important part
okay,
of the judging. The stem and foliage, the leaves are clean. I had an instance once where I would have won the best in show, but the judges came back and said, you know, if you just had cleaned the bird dew off the leaf, it would have done better. and that's,
it's an important tip.
I'm very lax. I'm very lax in what I do at rose shows. I just want people to see the beauty of the flowers that I see. And the day before the show, I walked through the garden, and anything that looks like this would be an outstanding example in my garden for something that's beautiful. And that's what I look for. And I will take up to 40 stems to the rose show.
Wow, so you can bring multiple entries, one person?
Yes.
And really anybody can come. You don't have to belong to the society. No. You just have to bring your roses. And then what day do we bring them to the Lloyd Center?
I better refer to that
date
here,
okay,
because if I say it, I'd better be right. Thursday,
right,
from 6:30 in the morning till 9:30.
And down at Lloyd Center, and there'll be directions how to get to the space.
If you get to Lloyd Center, you'll find us. I'll tell you that. We have signs
And
out.
then really, this is over 130 years that this has been going on.
Yes, it's the longest in the world.
Wow.
And
then who started it? What's the history?
The very first rose show was sponsored by and put on by Mrs. Henry Pittock of the Pittock Mansion fame. She had traveled to Europe, and she had experienced a rose show there, and she just thought it would be a neat thing to do back here. And so she set up a tent in her backyard, downtown Portland, and had her friends, who all had gardens and gardeners, bring roses to her backyard under a tent. And
it was a charity event, wasn't it?
That's what I've read, although the history, every time you read history, you get a little different bent on. And she said it was a dime per admission. She said she made a lot more money than she expected to.
That's good.
It's always good to have a successful event.
Right.
And it's been carried on for over 130 years.
So Rich, if anybody can enter, what kind of tips do you give them? What kind of advice?
The most important advice to anybody who wants to enter is to actually do it. It's hard to get ourselves motivated to do things. Our rose show is open to anybody that wants to come. We have special areas and people at it. This is novice tables for people that have never been there, and we'll have experienced people who can walk you through every stage of how to get your roses into the show. And if you don't know what they are and the name's important, We'll try very hard to identify the roses for you so that you can enter them in the show. But other than that, it's open. I remember the first time I did, I was scared to death.
Sure, sure.
Because anything new has that
Of course.
feel to it. But you're sharing the beauty of your garden, which is my garden. I always say it's always open because I love to have people walk through
Oh,
it
it is
because they
beautiful.
enjoy it.
Right.
And I enjoy other people's gardens as well.
Definitely.
But the beauty of the rose is just something unique, and we're giving people an opportunity to see lots of them.
Definitely. And really, if you don't want to enter, you don't have a rose to enter, go see this. It's amazing. There's just hundreds and hundreds of roses in one place that you could see at the Lloyd Center. So if you need more information, go to the Rose Society website. All of the information on how to enter is there, and also where to go and just view it. Have a great show. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for allowing us time to go in the air.